Hey, we're here. This is working. Hey,
Here we are.
this is it's been a while since the last time we've done a live stream. And we're going to try the format, try a little bit of change in format for this one. Today we're joined by Mr. C. Mr. C, how are you doing?
Man, on the 5th of July, the day after, Saturday in the park must have been the 4th of July. The lyrics don't match up to our exact calendar as we sit here in 2024, but the spirit of the thing is all right there. We're post 4th of July. We're approaching 7-Eleven on the calendar, which means it's free Slurpee Day. This is every summer a very special time in summer to be hanging out. So hence here we are live streaming away.
Very nice, very nice. I am gonna have a Topo Chico. Have you had this thing? This,
I
this is
don't know if I ever have.
this I picked up at Costco the other day, and it's really quite nice. Anyways, so we're gonna try the format a little bit different, and what we've talked about, Mr. C, is this thing that we have here on YouTube is essentially us as kids on the playground talking about stuff, shooting the breeze, but now it's now it's being recorded on YouTube for everybody to see. So we're going to try to mimic kind of the how it actually works, how we actually talk to each other, as opposed to the performative aspect. There's nothing wrong with the performative aspect, but yeah, just to be a little bit more like us.
There it is.
So
The conversation that was on the playground at recess, the snippets of the conversation that would be, say, walking from room to the library or to the auditorium, and it'd be like, just, hey, hey, this, that, the other. So here we come now again with the this and then that and the other of the current times.
exactly. So for this one, we're going to talk about a few things. We'll talk about the Haslab, which just crossed the 8,000 mark earlier today. So it's been fully backed, and we'll talk about that. Also, want to talk about what we're watching as one of the things, and then Mr. C, what do we got on deck as well?
For
What
the
other
rest of
topics
this
we
or
got
after
for
we flip
for
over?
no for this one for this one?
Oh,
We're going to
well,
be on again in a bit on your bit, but yeah,
we got some stuff. Again, it's a little bit in the afterglow of
okay.
Fourth of July. So I got a little bit of Artist Alley business
Oh,
from the C2E2 going. We got some current topical business to speak on, and all will be well.
all will be well. All right. Well, so Mr. C, one of the most viewed videos that we've had on this channel in a bit is about the Haslab. And the topic was, is it worth $500? So if folks haven't heard about this thing, it's the Haslab, it's the Hasbro Kickstarter type of approach. They've had several of these things successfully backed and a couple that have failed to get fully backed. But this one right now is the vintage collection scale HasLab for the Mos Eisley Cantina. And there was some ambiguity, I think, maybe a little bit, of whether it was going to hit its fully backed level of 8,000, but it crossed that 8,000 mark earlier this morning. And now it seems well on its way to crossing 9,000 at least by the end of today. Um, so, Mr. C, thoughts on the HasLab? What do you think
Thoughts on
about
the
this thing?
HasLab. It is a tale of two cities, or not literally two cities, but is a tale of two elements at play. Is that an amazing, fine looking piece that is maybe a more detailed, maybe a more practical, maybe a more screen accurate interpretation of what was actually seen in Star Wars, which has since been come to also be recognized as A New Hope? I mean, in other words, is it achieving that which was in the movie in a very good way? And I am not slighting any of the other play sets or things from the 70s from the Kenner line, but like let's say the Death Star, being that it was conceivably the size of a moon. Well, you can't really make a
Mhm.
playset to be the equivalent size of a moon, or you can, but you're anyway. So compared to what the Death Star playset in the 70s had to offer, like this thing seems to be so well crafted, so finely made, like it's a really cool thing. And here comes the tale of two cities, or the two threads, the two element part. For me, that that's not my price range. That's not where my money's going to go. That's not to say it isn't tempting. I mean, I'm a hard pass. However, you look at it, and you think about putting the characters around in there, and you think of all the
Oh,
classic
sure.
banter and events. I mean, that's where, that maybe, I don't know what's truly canon. Maybe Luke Skywalker had never entered any kind of tavern before in all his life until he sets foot in the cantina. But you can say Han Solo knew his way around. Greedo thought he knew his way around. So, like, just you could sit a Greedo and a Han Solo in there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
recapture that scene, or replay the scene like that. That would be kind of cool, and that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it's a really impressive, set. It's huge, right? I think it's, what, 19 inches wide and 20 some odd inches, 23 inches, I think, long. It's a huge, huge set. Um, but at that $400 price tag just for the base unit and then 500 for the full-blown deluxe thing, yeah, that prices a lot of people out of the market. And I do really enjoy the variety of comments that we've gotten on that video. Some folks, it's a no-brainer, been waiting for that thing, since they were a kid or as an adult, always dreaming of the thing, really loving it. And kudos, and I'll say it again here, to Victoria's Cantina for advocating for the Time for Tonica campaign, which, you watch some of her videos. What Hasbro has done here is essentially what she had talked about some time ago. So Hasbro ought to hook her up for sure, uh, because she includes talking about the cantina and some of the other characters, and of course the Tonica sisters. So there's a lot that's awesome about this thing, but yeah, I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know where I would put this thing. I've tried to be a little bit more thoughtful about where my dollars are going in general. But this one, yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence. Leaning towards no, but still on the fence. Yeah.
So I'm reading your
Yeah.
comment section of this very video, which
Oh
we're
yeah.
referencing, where you broke down. Oh, look, we got Mr.
Yeah.
Campbell. Let before I go on. Why do Fanboy G and Mr. C have matching haircuts, brothers from a different mother? Who are we to disagree with Mr. Campbell? So yeah, we are kind of got a reverse symmetry or symmetry happening here tonight. So absolutely, it looks like Jim Campbell's changed his, what do you call it there? Just his little icon next to his name there. What's the proper name for this? I don't know. But now we got a bold looking JC instead of the
Oh my
previous
goodness.
cartoony character.
I
So
think
we're
I know what
thinking
that JC is actually though. Uh, It's followed by, Penney, I think at the end, but it's brilliant execution.
are you sure it's not Jedi Council though? I mean, would you
It
would
could
you
be.
Anyway, so what I'm coming to saying, welcome to have Jim Campbell. Always good to have
Yeah,
Jim Campbell hanging around. I'm coming to say, as I'm reading your
yeah.
comment section, I see another of our JC Penny. Yes, it is. I see another of our cohort of our greater gathering. I see a Terror Dave has
Mhm.
committed, as he states in your comment section, that he's in. He's going to get it. Well, I tell you what. I mean, do you know what the release date is and all that stuff? Well, whatever the release date is, that would be pretty cool. If nothing else, I don't know if that would be content that Dave would consider for his own blog of terrordaves.com. But all the same, it'd be really cool to see the set.
Yeah, it would be really cool to see the set in person. I think it's not coming out until late 2025. So it is the Kickstarter model where they and I am concerned about some of the, videos or other comments that I've seen about it, they charge your credit card when the campaign period ends. So in like 3 days, they're going to charge your credit card. It's not like you back it now and then they don't charge you till it ships. They charge you now. So yeah, it's not coming out until late next year. Folks are still waiting for the Ghost Haslab, which I backed last year. Yeah, I think it's a really impressive set. I'm going to be very curious how much more backers they're going to get, because with the Haslab, there are multiple tiers beyond this minimum level. So at the 11,000 tier, that unlocks Greedo. At the 14,000 tier, that unlocks, oh man, Nabrun leads. And then at the 17,000 tier, that unlocks our shoot. What is it? Arlyle Shoes. It's the Wolfman looking alien from A New
Right.
Hope. Yeah, so I'm impressed that it got back. I'm surprised that no, I'm impressed that it got back. I'm not surprised that that happened. I am surprised about how long it took to get to the 8,000 mark. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Now, would you say, assuming someone does have the physical set in front of them, is there an
Yeah.
essential short list of characters? Is there a single character? Is there a short list of characters that absolutely have to get put into the set, either for photos, for diorama, or for play action? Is there a list of characters that must be put into the set?
Well, that's a great question. And there's multiple like pictures of cantina shots and stuff like that. I would think you need to have you know Chewbacca and Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Ben Kenobi. Those would be pretty good ones to have. And then you can have, oh man, what is it? Dr. Evazan and Walrus Man. What's his name? Punda Baba. Punda
Oh,
Baba.
nice, nice, Paul.
Yeah, yeah, that's and that but then it's kind of jump ball of what other aliens you can shove into this thing. So Kenner or not Kenner, Hasbro over the years, kind of a while ago, as part of the Legacy Collection line and other lines that they've had, have produced a lot of these aliens already. So they're on eBay, but because of this campaign, a lot of those prices are going up for those background aliens. Hasbro has said they're doing this Return to Tatooine campaign this year, so I assume it's going to be characters to help fill up the cantina. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. And yeah, it'd be kind of pricey to fill up the cantina. This is a big set, you know?
Yeah, it's a
And
lot of
then
alcoves within there.
a lot of little alcoves, and where are you going to put the cantina band? That's actually one thing that kind of not like irritates me or anything like that, but it would have been nice. Um, some kind of like push button sound effect deal, which would have played
Ooh,
the
yeah,
cantina theme.
agree.
If it
And I
had
mean,
that, yeah, that would be a
I mean, with
no-brainer for me. I would have backed it instantly.
with today's technology, that's easy to replicate and stick a phone or other device near the actual cantina. But yeah, Jim Campbell always laying out his heavy hitting questions. Yeah,
That's right.
what exactly about the house band?
Yeah.
And for that much money, Greedo, yeah, Hasbro wouldn't be hurting themselves if they would include even a bit of a cast of characters. And then just for me, the essential thing would be to go into one of those booth areas and sit Greedo there and sit Han Solo right there. Now, again, on the audio, if a Greedo voice came out and said McClunky, that would be some real deep
Oh
deep
man.
cuts. But yeah, hey, it's a magnificent looking thing. It's got a steep price on it. Uh, we'll see what comes uh, down the pike once it's actually physically released.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm excuse me, most likely not backing it. Um but if you're backing it, all power to you. And if you're on the fence like me, yeah, got 3 more days at the time of this video to decide. So Mr. C, if that covers off on our Haslab topic, what I don't actually know the answer to this. What are you watching nowadays?
What am I watching? Well, staying in the Star Wars verse here, and you
Yeah.
know, treading somewhat again in a maybe that same thread is relevant where it's the best of things and the not best of things. I've been checking out the Acolyte a bit, and it's been, I would say, for me, just a
Okay.
touch of a roller coaster. You know, you look around and you see that which looks Star Wars, or it has a feel of Star Wars to it. Certain plot things didn't feel very consistent with old school Star Wars, and but it's been an up and down ride for me on the Acolyte.
Yeah, same. There's certain parts about the Acolyte that I really enjoy. I think the lightsaber battles are amazing. That is the highlight. This character Quimir or Chimera is fantastic. I think he's really interesting. I do love the Master Saul character. Um, the writing could or should be better. Certainly, the direction. I think a lot of the struggles that I have with the show pertain to dialogue and some of the direction is just um, kind of funky, kind of funky. You know, we haven't, as part of this channel, done like a regular debrief or anything like that. Unlike some of the things that we used to do, maybe more often during the pandemic, during the peak of the pandemic. But yeah, about the Acolyte, you know, some parts of the story I think are again really interesting pieces. Um, you know, but yeah, I don't think it warrants all of the, you know, red laser eye videos that are on the internet. Yeah, if you don't like the show, you don't have to watch the show. It's just sort of like,
Yeah,
you know, with me and some of the Star Trek stuff. You know, I really loved Picard. I mostly enjoy Strange New Worlds. I didn't like Discovery very much, and that's okay. That's okay. But some parts of and so if Star Wars isn't working for you, there's no need to stick around, you know, to the end, and yeah, and you can move on to other stuff. Um, oh, here we have a comment. Does anyone understand the Basil character? You can't communicate. Yeah, yeah, that was kind of one of my issues with the most recent episode with the Basil character, kind of comic relief. Um, you know, he can apparently sniff out that May is not May, or yeah, May is no OSHA is an OSHA, and
May
but
isn't OSHA, and OSHA
nonetheless,
isn't May.
yeah, you know, we got the Parent Trap episode thing, and yeah, I guess Basil or Basil can't. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Um, it's too bad because there are aspects that I think are really great and could have been delivered as a wonderful series. I think it could have worked very well as a movie for sure. Um, but yeah, some of the direction I think it is off. It's off for me. But I'm mostly enjoying it, and I'm gonna obviously stick around to the end.
Just
And
two more episodes, right?
just 2 more episodes to go. Yeah, so I expect that the next episode is likely going to be a flashback of what actually happened, and then yeah, we'll see. Have Have you seen you've seen the original Beverly Hills Cop, right?
Back in the 80s, so, yeah,
Back in the
and the
day.
VHS, back in the time when summer would include going to your Blockbuster or your Hollywood Video or your neighborhood independent video shop, and taking just the searching process was part of the experience, was part of the entertainment, maybe sometimes slightly frustrating, or you had to whittle down some choices, but it was, you know, a kid in a candy store, the video game store, right? The video rental store, the VHS
Mhm.
shop. So back in this era, when Axel Foley first graced the cinema screen. So yeah, and like anything else Eddie Murphy did in that era, he had not the Midas touch, but he was golden. He had a great batting average. So yes, I have not seen, as you have, the most recent release of the series of Beverly Hills Cop of Axel Foley, but back in the day, true appreciation. And then you got the Axel F song. No, that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Herbie Hancock. Or, no, Harold Faltermeyer. Harold Faltermeyer. Yeah.
Exactly right. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Harold Faltermeyer was also on the Top Gun soundtrack, right? I can't
I
remember
would have to
exactly.
check, but that sounds good. And then it's Herbie Hancock who did Rocket, and at the time it was they were
Yes.
two great songs, but sticking to the movie. So, what are your thoughts now? You've just recently been hanging out with Eddie Murphy. You in the theater screen, him on the screen. You in the seats, him on the screen is what I'm trying to say. How did it shake out for you for Beverly Hills Cop XLF edition?
Yeah, so I watched it yesterday morning, the morning of the 4th. It was a low-key 4th for them in my household, and I wanted to see it, and it really was a good time. It's so much into the nostalgia, so much of the vibe of the original, you know, Beverly Hills Cop films. You got the music for sure. You've got all the main characters, which I don't think you had all of the main characters in Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's just a wonderful ride. Does the plot make a lot of sense? No, it doesn't. But it's okay. Yeah, it's mostly okay. It's in this genre of 80s movies where you've got a lot of the same tropes, and you're kind of along for the ride. And I think Dan Murrell said it best. Probably with this franchise, it's closest to at least what we perceive Eddie Murphy's personality is in real life, is his demeanor, his how quick witted he is. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend checking it out on Netflix. I wish it got a theatrical release. I would have loved to have seen this in the theater with an audience. I think it would have played very well.
My
Yeah.
misunderstanding. I thought I inserted a meaning that you didn't put out there, I
Yeah.
thought you saw it at the theater, but right
Oh,
there, plain as day, it says only on Netflix. Well, then maybe
mhm.
that's going to be my late night viewing tonight, is to take a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff, or there's a lot of stuff. Godzilla versus Kong, whatever the latest one is, now on HBO Max or Max or whatever it is. But yeah, I recommend checking it out. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I also watched. So I've been watching a bunch of movies. I watched The Beekeeper on Amazon Prime Video. Uh, that movie has got even a weaker plot. But if you like Jason Statham, it's fine. If you think about it too hard, you're not going to enjoy that movie at all. Um, but it's a lot like Beverly Hills Cop, where you're on for the ride, and it's a fun journey. I just finished this morning uh, the Three Body Problem on Netflix. Did you see this one? Have you heard about this one? It's
No,
based on a
I
book, a
don't know a thing
sci-fi.
about it.
Yeah, it's based on a Chinese novel, and yeah, this series is not for me. Uh, I've watched all of that series, or the season. I know it's on for a second season. Yeah, it wasn't for me. And if you're watching, post in the comments what are you watching, and because we'd love to include you in the conversation here. Yeah, so I don't know what else I'm gonna start watching. I have been watching House of the Dragon. I've been enjoying that. I don't really know all the characters all that well, so maybe I'm a little bit lost in the plot, but I'm enjoying that. Anyways, what else should we talk about here, Mister C?
Well, let me see, just what else have I been
I've,
watching and
oh
what have
yeah,
I been listening
oh
to?
yeah.
So totally outside of this
Hmm.
wheelhouse. I mean, I do have the U.S. soccer jersey on, so both
Oh yeah.
the U.S. soccer team was just recently eliminated from the Copa competition, if you will. So that's for those of us who are tracking, or if you have a serious interest or a peripheral interest in the U.S. men's national soccer team, there's perhaps some cause for concern right there with the next World Cup approaching in 2 years' time. We're taking the temperature of the situation as it stands now. Let's say historically the team has looked stronger at other points in time than it does right now. And similarly over here, there's the Copa business across the ocean. There are the Euros. So Germany just lost an amazing overtime game to Spain just earlier today. So that's just to give a bit of a mention to it. That's summer
Yeah.
sports schedule. Not exactly sci-fi genre, not exactly Eddie Murphy's wheelhouse, but those are some of the things I have been watching. As far as what I've been listening to, as I mentioned before, long ago, you had sung the praises of the Rewatchables
Yeah.
podcast, and there I am outside the other day tinkering around, setting stuff up, trying to get the house right for the 4th of July brunch that we do over here. And the Rewatchables come on, and they're speaking on the Bad News Bears, but I'm talking the 70s, the Walter Matthau Bad News Bears. Man, it's been a long time since I thought about that, but just to hear them speaking on it made me feel our current age, to speak on how the world was so different in the 70s. And now you have a series of decades passing by, 70s to 80s to 90s to 2000s to 2010s to now we're firmly approaching the middle of the 2020s. So it's the world has changed a lot. But that being said, you're right to comment on the Rewatchables and how they're a really entertaining and quality podcast. Are you frozen or touch
Uh-oh.
or
Am I frozen?
no? Not really. I was so. Gee, I mean? How did you first find those
Yeah.
guys Rewatchables, or what do you have to what do you have to
Yeah,
articulate
I don't
for
know where I Yeah, I don't know where I first heard of the Rewatchables, but it is one of my favorites. It truly is one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah, the Rewatchables are. Am I back? Yeah, the Rewatchables is a fun ride. I do enjoy their podcast. I don't remember where I first heard of them. Um, just about one of the things that you had mentioned about the Copa game. I watched the second half of Portugal versus France, and then I missed the penalty kicks action. Uh, so uh, there's another game today, right? No,
I'm not
are we
certain.
out of the time zone?
We're on the European side. It's as we're as we're sitting here, 6:30 Central, 4:30 Ocean Pacific Ocean time. There, I think it's
Mhm.
bedtime in the European sector. But as far as on the Copa side, I'm not sure what would be scheduled. I'd have to take a scan at the listings.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Olympics coming up. That'll be good. I enjoy that every year. So yeah. Hey, so I'm gonna flip up something here. Did you hear
All
about
right,
this in the news, Mr. C? So
Detroit.
yeah, this is
Go
from
ahead.
CBS. Oh, why is this not displaying? I'm clicking the button. Oh man. So I'm trying to get this thing to pop up, but it's not coming
Well,
on.
I'm
Why
seeing
is
it.
it
I'm
not
seeing
coming on?
Detroit
Oh, there we go.
Amsterdam flight
So
diverted. Spoiled food.
yeah, so this was from CBS News. That's right. There was an issue on a Delta flight, and a number of passengers became sick because they served spoiled food on the airplane. And I think, I mean, the less funny part, I think a number of people were hospitalized because of this issue. But the reason for bringing it up, this is essentially what Airplane is about. This is what that movie was about. It was about, they're on this flight, and then there's something wrong with the fish, and then that's why everybody gets sick. That's why, what is it? Peter Graves and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the cockpit become sick. So surely there had to have been a doctor on the plane, but I just thought, wow, that's Airplane in real life. Uh, yeah, you've seen the movie. You've seen the movie. You're familiar with the film. It's like an icon.
Art reflects life. Life reflects
Oh,
art.
am I stuck? Yeah.
It is a genre that doesn't currently see much action for whatever title you're going to give the genre, but just for hilarious farcical comedy, which there were, your Airplanes, your Police Academies, your Mel Brooks work of that era, your Young Frankenstein, all this stuff fit under a great, magnificent umbrella of comedy at the movie house. And all I can say is don't call me Shirley. And it would be great if these films uh, found their way back in. If one of them would land well at the box office, that would then generate orders from somebody else's desk in the production house. Go make some more of these movies. I would welcome it. But as we
Yeah.
said for the Bad News Bears, maybe too much has changed. Maybe this isn't the right time and place and climate. But hey, I still would find it funny.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, could you make the Bad News Bears today, or how would it be unique? The first one, that's where Jodie Foster is in it, right?
Jodie
She's
Foster was going to be, but then she exited to head
oh,
into the role in Taxi Driver. And so I forever am bad. Was it Christy McNichol or Tatum O'Neal? I think it was
ah,
Tatum O'Neal, but it might have been Christy McNichol. But even back in the 70s, I couldn't keep them straight because they were always appearing together. And well, whatever. That's my an issue of my acuity. But anyway, so yes,
maybe
with
I should
that,
listen to the rewatchables then.
yeah. Hey, go check out your guys. They'll walk you
It's my
through
own
it.
fault. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been a while since there was a good like baseball kind of movie. There was like the string of, I mean, it's a lot of time, I guess, but there was a period of a lot of good baseball types of movies, particularly in the late 70s and 80s. And like I'm struggling to think about when was the last time there was any, actually. I can't recall. Um, yeah. We got, and I that's right. I've been wrong with this stuff. Yeah, there's so many great jokes and one-liners in that in Airplane. A lot of that humor, yeah, I don't think you could make that movie today, but I think you could take a different direction with it where it would still be a joke a minute and work. I think it could be really great. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, I thought it was funny that uh, Airplane coming to life there. Anyways, all right, Mr. C, what else should we talk about, if anything, before we hop over to your channel to
Yeah,
continue?
before, well, let me,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know, eeny, meeny, miny,
let's
mo, in
see.
whatever order. So, coming to the top of the hour here at
Oh
the
yeah,
7 Central and 5 your time, we'll just do a little, overview of what's coming around in the summer. So we'll have the Kane County Toy Fair coming around July 28th. So that's definitely something to speak on. And just after that, it's a packed calendar because you had the Flashback Horror Convention, which we first reviewed on this very Fanboy Cantina
mhm,
channel. Now, is it 2? Is it going on 3 years ago? The years blur together, but
mhm.
somebody could scroll in your history for the first time we gave a review for that convention around here. What's special about this time around is that it is the continuing celebration of Rich Coe's his character Sven Gulli in his 45th anniversary of portraying the character of Sven Gulli. So they continue to celebrate the 45 years, and they'll have all kinds of stuff going on at Flashback, as well as the entirety of the rest of the convention, the show floor, the vendors, the other actors from the other films, and it's a good times ahead on Flashback weekend coming.
Yeah, I'm sorry for multitasking. I'm looking down to see when is exactly Flashback weekend. It is August 2nd through the 4th at the
Yes,
Hyatt
sir.
O'Hare. So that's coming up real soon.
Real soon. And again, it's not to the scale of your C2E2s or your
No.
Wizard Worlds or whatever other mega conventions, if we're going to use the terminology of mega convention, but it is, you know, Godzilla's to size matter, this and that, but it is a good time to be had over at the Flashback.
No, that's excellent. Yeah, no, when my father took me to the Chicago Comic Con at the Clarion Hotel in out near O'Hare. It was two large rooms, and large in relative terms is like probably one large room today, or and that was it. That was kind of it. And I still had a great time of walking up and down these aisles and stuff. Now, yeah, even though the flashback convention may not be the same scale as C2E2, that's still an awesome time. If anything, I would rather that. You know, something that's manageable where you can walk around, talk with people, that kind of vibe. That works for me. I like that. I like that a
We
lot.
talked a little bit sports tonight, which is a little bit atypical for us, but let's compare attendance rates of
Mm,
your National Hockey League, of your National Basketball
okay.
Association, of your Major League Baseball, of that same early era, 70s and 80s. And there'd be people in the seats, but I'd say now attendance is up in general. So yeah, but what I'm saying is still a good time to be had at the ballpark in the 70s or 80s. The thing doesn't have to be mega over. It does not have to be Kong size or Godzilla size to enjoy the event. So definitely good stuff coming around. And then to have an actual fairgrounds in Kane County, it says in one area it says here, pigs are over here, chickens are over here, cows are over here. But on that day, it's not pigs and chickens and cows. It's vintage toys from many vendors from all different kinds of eras and genres. Whatever you got your Kenner represented, you got your He-Man, your GI Joe represented, you got your
Oh
Universal
man.
Monsters represented, which is of course of interest to me. But you got your Sesame Street characters represented. You got I mean, it's just it's a real fun event. So to have those two things close together in time will be on the Mr. C channel. We'll be speaking to those things in the coming days and coming weeks.
I've seen YouTube videos about the King County toy event. It looks amazing. I haven't been to King County, and I've been out of Chicago
Yeah.
for a while now. But even then, it was probably a bit since I was last there, and it was nice. I mean, it was very unique that it even existed. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's just grown over the decades, over the years. Uh, that thing
It's a
looks
real
great.
fun
It
time.
looks
And
great.
again, a through line here, as we noted for the Cantina that Terror Dave
Yes.
commented on your Cantina video. It was, I had it in the back of my head, but it was Dave who said, "Hey, I think you'll like this if you come check it out." And Dave didn't overbill the thing. It was real good. So continuing appreciation across the threads and across the timelines for Dave.
So on the sports bit, and yeah, we'll jump off. But in the regular kind of playground type of banter that we got here, Mr. C. So did I tell you I went to a Cubs game out this way?
I don't think you
Eh,
mentioned it directly, but
Oh,
in
okay.
the grapevine, yes, it came to my attention that you made it over to the local
So
municipality ballpark at which time the Cubs were in town.
you are correct, sir. So yeah, the Cubbies were playing this local team called the San Francisco Giants, and so I was there for the Cubs game. And I had a good time. I had a good time. It gets really cold here in Northern California. It's like weird. Yeah, you think you're in California, and so it's going to be hot all the time. But instead, in San Francisco, there's that Mark Twain quote. the coldest winter I ever lived through was summer in San Francisco, and it's true. It's just like oddly cold. But I had a good time. I haven't been to a ballpark, and I don't even know when. May have been pre-pandemic kind of action. Like maybe it wasn't that long ago. No, I was at an Ace game. Lost, but still, it was a good time, definitely.
And it's
And I am
some,
that. I was going to say that drunken person, but yeah. But anyway, I was that guy of the Giants or whatever we got. This is all because of Comcast. Comcast has like a monopoly on my particular piece of geography. I can't get the Sonic. I can't get the Google thing, if that is a thing. I guess I could get AT&T, but yeah,
well,
not
some
great.
there were maybe some advantages to growing up in the way of the 70s and the 80s and the way the technology and the way that the regional forecasts and regional broadcasts were running back at the time in the day.
I'm on the cusp of like when sometimes like when this thing craps out, I'm waiting for the "You Got Mail" voice to pop on or something. It's just like, come on, Comcast, add a add a little bit of wiring or something to make this suck a
Give
little bit less
give me a little
at this
power
point.
up, a little boost,
All right,
a little something.
a little boost. That's all I have. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you, Mr. C, and thank you all for hanging out a little bit with us. Trying to tweak the vibe a little bit that so that it's more like us. Oh yeah, and so not acknowledging their Chai Star G. Chai Star G, if you're watching later, hey, but yeah,
So,
no worries,
hey,
no worries at
TriStar,
all.
what's up, man? So yeah, thanks to Jim Campbell for hanging
There
out
you
as
go.
always, and thanks to ChiStar for letting us know he wasn't going to be available. And as we said, if we're watching live and we're winding down here, then at the top of the hour, feel free to come by the Mr. C channel, and we'll talk some Svengoolie business and expand a little bit more on the summer outline and summer plans. Upcoming guests coming around on the Mr. C channel, and we can do a little check around on the 4th of July
Oh,
business, get the Funko
nice.
Washington crossing the Delaware and certain other things to check out. So everybody's invited, and I hope some people do show up. Uh, RKO, Captain America, and other things to be spoken of. Fanboy G, I'm glad we did this again. Looking to tweak the format, kind of a little bit of the same old, a little bit of the
Yeah.
trying to reinvent the wheel a little. So this has been a fun conversation, and that's all I got for now.
All right, all right. So move us over to the. Oh, wait a minute. We got a question. We got a question from Mr. Campbell. Star Wars Dream Haslab. All right, I'm gonna add time to us here, Mr. C.
Fair enough. We got
A couple
we got
minutes
some
here.
room. We got some room. Okay. So
We
like a
got a little
white
bit of
whale,
time.
like the
It would
hunt.
be the Yeah, I would love for Hasbro to reproduce to a degree the original Kenner Haslab, which Mr. C you have or the Mrs. has, and it's
Yeah.
just a wonderful, immaculate toy. It's just a fantastic toy. I didn't fully appreciate it back in the day because of its exposed features, but now I totally get it. I think it's an amazing toy. That is my white whale. That's what I would love Hasbro to reproduce. How about you, Mr. C?
I think
Anything
that's
that you wish that Hasbro would make?
you know what? If I try to think of something different, but let me start with that. So it's just about 4 feet out of reach of my clutches right here. But to take then the old one and the new one and do the side-by-side comparison and see what maybe had to be changed because there's different manufacturing sensibilities or what was able to be a perfect replication. That would be really interesting. I'll tell you that's right on the old set, the foam blocks that were inside the the
The
dungeon thing
trash
there where you
compactor.
the trash compactor. Thank you, sir. So yeah, to get current foamy blocks that one could have in a trash compactor, yeah, that would be kind of a neat thing. But apart from a Death Star, I don't know, maybe well, I know things were done about Dagobah, things were done about Hoth. Um, yeah, any of those, any of those would be just fun to check out.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I could see a Hoth trench. That would be amazing. They've issued pieces already, pieces of the Hoth diorama. So, yeah, a full blown diorama of thing. Okay, am I at right now?
Yeah, gee, it's coming in and it's coming in and out for me. You're a little, your image is a little frozen and the audio is popping in and out.
Okay, I'm gonna to Comcast. And then let's hop over to the Mr. Synth. Ready for tuning in. Give us feedback on the approach here, and we're going to tweak the format a little bit so that it feels more like that playground banter that we got. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Do us a favor, come over to Mr. C Dives In, and we'll see you next time. See you, everybody. Bye.
Do, 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 do.